So if you're an on-the-go photographer, videographer, or vlogger, or content creator in general, and you wanted some options as far as tripods go, I have a few popular options here, which is this one's a Joby, this is the GorillaPod, this is a 5K one, this actually is one of the bigger ones to hold some heavy cameras. Here we have the SwitchPod, which was created last year, really aimed towards the vlogger content creator style. And then we have the Apex Minimalist Tripod, which is their own custom tripod base as well as their head with this swivel here on the very top. Now these tripods here are part of their QuickDraw Collection, which includes the tripods, this right here, which is, they call it the Traverse, which is a camera strap, and also the belay, but they didn't send me the belay, which is a camera neck strap that has the camera holder that you're able to quick draw from that, or unsnap it really quickly from the camera shoulder strap, but they didn't send me that one. They only sent me these two tripods here as well as the camera bag strap. So in this video, I just want to show you how the PolarPro as well as some of the other ones work and talk to you a little bit more about the pros and cons of each one and let you guys know my experience from using these for the past couple weeks. And if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Aldrin Anastacio. I do a lot of drone tech tips, tutorials, and product reviews right here on this channel. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing and also hitting that bell to be notified when I post new videos. Now, if you're using the PolarPro tripods for the past couple weeks now, I was trying to see if there might be that one tripod that can cover almost everything. Definitely doesn't really replace anything. I think it just kind of sits in yet another small tripod type of category. Now, before I go into more detail of these tripods here, I just want to quickly talk about pros and cons right off the bat. The first one here we have is the popular Joby tripod. This is the 5K. This one actually can hold up to, I believe it's about 11 pounds. So this is one of their heavy duty ones, meant to hold, heavier DSLRs and things like that. Now, the one thing, of course, with Joby is that you're gonna have to, bend these out whenever you want to use them. Great thing about it is it can really wrap and be used on any type of surface. As you can see here, you just need to attach your ball head. This is actually a Joby ball head. Now, of course, the biggest benefit of the Joby type of GorillaPod is that you can really hold it, form it, and use it in any situation. So if you're in some weird place, you can either wrap it around something, or if you wanted to shoot and it has some uneven surfaces, you're able to then position it so that you can still get a level shot. The biggest con, of course, with something like this is that it is pretty big as far as the footprint goes. As you can see here, even after I push everything and squeeze everything down, we have a pretty big type of tripod versus something like this, which is the SwitchPod. If you fold this down, you can see that it's nice and slim here, as well as comparing it over to the PolarPro one, you can see how much smaller this one really is compared to this one here. Now, as I hook up my camera here, you can kind of see how it'll work if I wanted to aim this towards me just a little bit. Of course, this is what a lot of people are accustomed to seeing when you talk about a vlogger. You have something like a Joby tripod like that, as well as your camera here on top. And then here we have the SwitchPod, which is probably my favorite piece of equipment to carry around. As you can see here, this thing actually folds down so it's nice and slim. It already has this angle here, and you can actually just kind of swing this around, plop it down, and then put your camera right on it here. So this would be my setup. Normally, if I have it on a SwitchPod, I would be able to just find my location, swing this around, and then set it down on a table of just a ball head if I need to. And then once I'm ready to go, wrap this up, and then there you go. Now you have it nice and compact versus something like this. Now here are the two tripods from PolarPro. This is the minimalist tripod right here, which actually has a ball head already integrated into it, so you're not able to remove this one. It's all built into one piece. And then here we have the base only, which is just the legs and the base, and you're able to put on one of your ball heads if you already have one. This is like a Joby one right here, the 3K Joby one. So if I wanted to use this one, I could put this onto the base here. Now this is the minimalist one, and I thought this one would be the one I'd really want to have as far as bringing it as my all-purpose type of tripod. This thing does hold about 25 pounds. These two right here can hold about 25 pounds. That's a huge, camera that you can fit on here. And the one thing that I do like about it, before we kind of go into the things that they can improve on, I want to talk about some of the things I do like about it, is I do like the fact that they have these kind of teeth right here that you swivel each arm out. It has numbers on them, and you can tighten them down, which means that if you are on some uneven surfaces, you're still able to put these down and lock them in. These type of legs are what you don't want to use for something like that, because of the fact, of course, if you're holding it and you're leaning on it or doing something for a long period of time, like a time lapse, this thing might sag or move over time, just like that. And I think that's where this tripod kind of fits in a little bit more as far as that videographer, photographer that is going to be posted up and sitting for a little bit longer. These are, I would say, more on the go, where this one here is something that you're going to want to set up, put your legs in place, and then you can actually have your camera here knowing that wherever you are, you can kind of pretty much just know that these legs won't buckle, where something like this, these things can kind of move. So like I said, these teeth right here are really cool. They have numbers all the way down, so that way if you wanted to have this perfectly flat, you would put them all at the same number. Right now they're all set to number 3, but you can actually loosen them up, open it all the way down if you wanted to, and then you have a completely flat tripod, which is really cool. So if you really want to get those low shots, or you just want the most stability, something like this works really well. Then you just have to grab your camera, you're able to adjust this all the way around. Now we'll talk about some of the things I think they can improve on because of the fact that you can adjust and tighten it here. The one thing I did notice that even though it was really tight, I'm still able to move that ball head around just a little bit. Now, besides this ball head moving just a little bit, even though it's tight, the one thing that they did market was this kind of like as a vlogging rig. Now, the one thing I did notice is that when you have your camera in here and you were to pick it up, there's another hinge on here, which is meant for you to shoot vertical. So if you wanted to shoot like this and loosen this up and shoot vertical, you can do that. However, it's kind of hard and tricky to get your camera perfectly vertical because of the fact that you have this thing that hinges here, and then you also have the ball head. So you kind of have to put it in a place like so and lean it up against the tripod right here. The one thing that scared me a lot when I was using this though is that even though it's in vertical mode, when you want it to be, if you don't want it to be in vertical mode, the problem is this little hinge here does not tighten up or lock. Now, why is that a big deal? Well, if you were to grab this camera out just like this, if I were to go shoot, and if I say I wanted to go vlog, and I pick up my camera and go towards me, this thing can lean forward just like that. Now, of course, someone will say, why don't you just turn the camera around and move it to the side? That's true, you could do that, but at the same time, if you're walking around with this thing and vlogging, at any point, knowing that your camera can just go like that is pretty scary. And the first couple times I did that, I got kind of freaked out because I thought the camera was actually falling over. Now, I don't know why they didn't put a locking mechanism on here, or at least have it so you have the ability to tighten it up a lot. Actually, I've tightened this up pretty much as tight as I can go, and it still is able to swivel back and forth. So this is almost probably not going to work for me or for most people that want to be able to have it that universal style, to be able to shoot, pick it up and move with it, because of the fact that now you have this thing kind of flipping over all the time. Now, if I'm a photographer or videographer in the field, I definitely do like the base system here, mainly because of the fact that, like I said, you can actually lock the legs in place. So the base only is really meant for you to use the same way as you would any other tripod. What number am I on? Number 3, and number 3 over here. So at least I know here that they're fully balanced as far as level goes with all of them, and then of course I just have to adjust the ball head. So of these two tripods, I would definitely recommend getting something like this, which is the base. If you know you're gonna be out there shooting and posting up for a little longer than normal, something like this can work well, but like I said, over time it could move, it could shift. It's definitely universal enough. Something like the SwitchPod, definitely probably not what you're gonna wanna use if you're gonna be there for a while, except if you're okay with it being on a flat surface. If you know you're gonna be on a flat surface, this thing works really well. I like to use this more as the on-the-go, all-purpose type of vlog rig and setup, where I can just have this on a table and then of course talk to the camera just like that. Now the reason why they call it a quick draw system is that you're able to take it from your tripod onto something like this, which is the plate or the traverse plate that you would put onto your camera strap. And all you have to do is take it off your tripod, click it into place here, and then there you go. Now you're able to kind of transport this around on your bag. Now to remove the camera, all you have to do is use technically one hand, and you have to turn the camera and it unlatches just like so, which is really cool, but also really scary because of the fact that if you don't have the lock, there's a little lock here at the very top. If you don't have that lock in there and you don't hear this double click right there, your camera can kind of be in there, and if you're walking around and this thing might be swiveling a little bit, you can kind of tell that if this were to hit something, because of the fact that if it's not locked, if it just hits something lightly, technically it could kind of pop off just like so, which is really scary. For those that are like hiking or, you know, something that you're running with this could be a very scary situation. So the two things I would recommend is that you hear both sides click in, just like so, and then use that lock. Once the lock is in there, then I'm fine. I don't worry about it at all. But if that lock is not on, like I said, if I turn the lock off now, and I would just kind of move this around, and this thing turns a little bit, then it's pretty easy for it to pop out. And there it is, guys, just some new products from PolarPro. This is their QuickDraw Collection. However, I don't have that belay camera strap that they've been talking about. I did only get the tripods as well as the strap mount. The one thing I did like is that the plates actually did work. So this is the plate from PolarPro. It does work on my Joby head right here. And this is actually one of my newer ball heads, which is the Ulanzi ball head, which I really like right now. And that plate works on here as well. And if you already had the existing Joby setup here, these plates on the Joby one actually does fit into the tripod minimalist strap here. It does not, however, work on the camera strap or the belay, but you can actually slide this in sideways on this minimalist tripod, and it actually still will work there. So as you can see, this is the Joby plate, but it will work here on this minimalist tripod. I just wouldn't recommend the tripod because look at that, because of that right there. So like I said, all the products I've talked about in this video will be linked down below in the video description. So if you guys want a little bit more information about it, make sure you guys check those out. As always, guys, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. And also, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell to be notified when I post new videos. This is Aldrin Estacio with FlytPath.com. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.